Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
Boxing.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.
So Fraser Clarke
challenger
to the scales first. Let's listen out for this weight.
271.3 for the challenger, Fraser, the Eraser Clarke.
19 stone, 5 pounds.
Now to
for Fraser Clarke.
241.6 for the defending champion, Fabio Wardley.
17 stone, 3 pounds for Fabio Wardley. So there is a sizable weight advantage for Fraser Clarke.
Just as I suspected, I haven't got the receipt, but it's there. I said, rematch. Fraser Clarke has to look to beat Fabio Wardley up. The longer Fabio stays in there with that power, the more chance he has to catch you with one of them vicious counters. Yes, Fraser's a big man who didn't know how to fight like a big man. And I said, Fraser has to fight that big man heavyweight fight in the next fight. He doesn't have the speed, but he's got to mix it up. He's got to box Fabio and he's got to bully Fabio, put him on the back foot and stop him getting leverage in his shots. That could be the keys to victory. Now here's the thing, he still had a considerable weight advantage last time out, but he's bulked up to 271. I don't think he needs the extra 5 pounds. 266 was fine. Maybe he could have even come down a little, because to me, the speed is what's going to hurt Fraser Clarke. The speed. A 23-pound weight advantage is more than enough. For any heavyweight contest in terms of an advantage, it's more than enough.
More than enough!
He's bulked up an extra 5 pounds. To me, it's how you use the weight. He's got leverage and weight on Fabio Wardley. The extra 5 pounds, I'm not sure. But that's the route they've chosen to go. Let's see what the strategy is. Are they going to try and pin Fabio on the back foot, stop him getting leverage in his shots, and try and maul him and wear him down, the smaller man? It looks like that's the way they're going. I think Fraser needs to mix it up. He needs to box and brawl. He didn't do well close up as someone with a weight advantage like that should have. There are a few factors that are not in Fraser Clarke's favour. Stayed in the amateurs too long and has only had 8 pro fights. And he hasn't picked it up as quick as he should have done in the pros. Whatever the strategy is for Fraser, is when it gets to the later stages, he's not going to be as productive. You saw how tired he was at the end of the fight. And Fabio, he doesn't believe Fraser has got the mentality to bully him. That's in Fabio's mind. I mean, he came in lighter this time, Fabio, 2 pounds lighter. He didn't say to himself, I need to be heavier for this one. No. But if Fraser is planning to beat up Fabio, I prefer that for Fraser than him trying to outbox Fabio to get the win. Because he's got to mix it up. But he doesn't have the pure speed and the timing to do a clean boxing job on Fabio. So he has to brawl a little. He's got to use his strengths, which is his strength and his size. He's a big dude. You've got to use that to his advantage. I feel Ben Davison and Fabio are going to try and work on Fabio not so much waiting to see what the other guy can do and letting his opponent hit him and, okay, I'm going to get mad and then retaliate now. They're going to want to get their jab off earlier. Do more about setting the tempo and letting their opponent have to adjust rather than the other way around. So it should be interesting. But that takes fundamentals to be able to establish what you need to do early. That normally takes the muscle memory of a kid who's done the amateur circuit from juniors to seniors and maybe done the big tournaments. But with Fabio, with his white collar background, he's basically been making a lot of it up as he goes along with his hybrid style. But maybe he's getting experienced enough now, perhaps has more confidence. He doesn't need to get rid of the hybrid style because that's got him to where he is. But perhaps he's got to trust himself that the fundamentals are going to serve him well. You know what I mean? Rely on that a little more than he's been doing. So just like Fraser has to box and brawl, mix it up, Fabio has to mix it up. Fabio has to improvise, but he has to be fundamentally sound as well and tactically aware as well. This is a very interesting fight. If Fabio thinks he can just swing it around on one big punch again, you know, he could find himself in issues too. Some people are insinuating that the Eubank Jr. Conor Benn altercation was staged. And I want to say it wasn't, But I can't say it was. I don't think it was planned as such. I'd say it was mildly choreographed. Not Conor shoving Chris in his chest, no. And the back and forth, no. But I think they could have been kept apart. I think the promoters and organisers could have done that if they wanted. I think there was an effort to get them in an eye shot of each other and for something to go off, which was predictable. Conor, he went at Chris and said, Conor ranted, you know what I mean, that you're lucky you're fighting tomorrow, it would go off now, and a lot of obscenities came out of Conor's mouth, not so much Chris's. Chris was saying, look at the time that he comes at me on a damn cutting weight when I've got little energy. And when Chris was asked why he didn't retaliate when Conor pushed him, he says, well, what is he going to do? Risk the bag against Zerameta? Could get cut. And he's right. Chris Eubank accused Eddie Hearn of setting it all up. Eddie denied it. And then at the weigh-in, Ben Shalom pushed in front of Frank Warren, kind of shoved him to get in the camera shot with Eubank Jr., who's just signed, and Zerameta. And Frank went as mad as he could at 73. Like, he was pissed off. Ben, he's a bit sneaky. He makes out that he's the victim, but he's a bit sneaky, isn't he? He's a bit sneaky. I mean, we all know that you're promoting Eubank, and Frank wasn't stopping him from getting in the camera shot. He didn't have to push past Frank like that. And you could argue, yeah, Frank should probably have not took the centre as he didn't have a dog in the race. And you could argue he overreacted. You could argue that. But Ben accusing Eddie Hearn of promoting himself more than he promotes fighters is a bit hypocritical. I mean, he was desperate to get in that camera shot. Really desperate to get in that camera shot. And there was a dispute about who stands where at the weigh-in when the fighters come off the scales and do the stare out. And Eddie Hearn, when talking about what happened between Frank and Ben, he said it's not supposed to be a big deal, really, who's supposed to stand where, who's supposed to stand where. But pushing a 73-year-old man out the way is out of order. Now, Frank can look after himself. He'll be okay. But let's keep it real. Ben on the Dubois-Joshua card, what did he do when Willie Hutchinson and Joshua Boazzi at either the weigh-in or press conference, I can't remember, were staring each other out? He told Eddie, oh, why are you standing up here? I didn't realize you have a fighter on the stage. And that's when Eddie said, I'll knock you out. So he does provoke a lot of situations and then pretend it's Eddie and Frank against me. And I don't like that. That's the bit of it I don't like. I like him standing up for himself, but own it. Own it. Say you ain't going to take no SHIT from them and do what you got to do. But when he does the little sneaky, they're picking on me routine, nah, I'm not a fan. Let's knock off the nice guy being picked on act. Let's knock that off.
Yo, Jim, knock it off.
The main event, they weighed in. Bivol seemed to have a section of people shouting his name. He weighed in 174 pounds, 11 ounces. And Beterbiev weighed in 174.9. Beterbiev seems to have this separate muscle underneath his pectorals. I see him on Twitter pressing 50-kilo dumbbells like it was nothing. Very strong. I've got to make my pick, and I'm going to pick Beterbiev to stop Bivol. Even at the weigh-in with so much at stake, neither man tried any theatrics to gain an advantage. The stare was very intense. Bivol gave a nod of the head, had a bit of menace in his eye. Now all there is left to do is watch some boxing. See you soon on the Hangout.
Beats and rhymes.
No one can do it better.